Hey guys, good morning. It's pretty early for me. It's about 6:45 in the morning. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I am in an airport again, finally. So today's trip, we're going to Belize, or hopefully going to Belize anyway. We're going to go to Houston first and then connect from there to Belize. So looking forward to posting some about that trip. I had actually filmed a video about 2 weeks ago that I was going to post, but we were out flying, myself and a friend of mine, we were out flying. We didn't do anything illegal, but neither did Trent Palmer, and they suspended his license. So I'm a little nervous about posting flight videos right now. Hopefully that'll change in the future, but in the meantime, sit down, buckle up, and let's go to Belize. They have these police checkpoints everywhere. You can see
highway for 53 kilometers.
My phone's talking to me. Sorry, they have these police checkpoints everywhere, and they've stopped me at 3 of them now. But it was because the license plate on the front of this car was hanging off, and so they were just stopping and asking. But I've driven through a couple of them since then and haven't been stopped. But they really just like, oh, hi, let me see your driver's license. Oh, your car's got insurance. Okay, cool, next. So they just kind of randomly stop whoever they feel like, I guess. Yeah, see, they didn't care that time. They just wave you through. So then, of course, since you're slowing down and stopping, all the people here are trying to sell you stuff. Fish on a stick, fruit on a stick, nuts on a stick, them on a stick. Water. It's just things you see in third world countries, I guess. Although Belize never really struck me as a third world country, but I guess it probably is. I'm not sure what you have to do to be a developing country. I always thought Belize was a developing country. Maybe they just don't have the GDP to qualify. I don't really know. What makes somebody a developing country? What makes somebody a third world country? But yeah, I am on my way to Belmopan, which is where I'm staying. That's the capital city of Belize. So I left Belize City 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. And I'll probably run into one more of those police checkpoints on my way. I saw one earlier today that nobody was at, so we'll see if it's the same. One thing that is kind of irritating, you just have to learn sooner rather than later, is that although this is a highway, there are, like right here, speed bumps, and it's in really bad shape. Got holes in the road. Even when you get out of town and it's like highway, they still have speed bumps that you come to. And you can't even see this one I'm coming up to right now. It's not even marked. But this is like a 8-inch curb. And the speed limit on this road is 55 miles an hour, so you hit it, it's gonna hurt. But you can kind of start to learn that if there's a bus stop or a crosswalk, there's gonna be a raised speed bump like this. All the crosswalks, if you see a sign for a crosswalk, hit the brakes because you're about to go airborne. This car that I rented it off of a local instead of going to the rental agencies. I just wanted to kind of help out a local, I guess, that had a car. So I just put an ad on Facebook, said, hey guys, I'm gonna be in town for 10 days, you know, if somebody has a decent car, I'll give you $500 for it for the 10 days. Still saved me about $400 over renting it from the rental companies. One of the drawbacks to this GoPro is that it films in kind of a wide angle aspect ratio. And on the viewfinder, it's difficult to see what you can see. So then I get into editing and I'm like, oh, you can't see something I just spent 20 minutes talking about. Off on our left-hand side here, you'll see some mountains that look like they were built by ants. When I came through here when I was on a cruise, we took a bus up through here. There's some caves up near Belmopan that you can ride rafts through or inner tubes through. And we did that on the cruise, and while the bus was coming through here, the lady was talking about these ant hills next to me. They're off in the distance, though, and I don't think you'll be able to see them with the GoPro. But they really do look like termite colonies. Like, they just kind of go straight up. They're like conical hills that just go vertical. It's weird the way they work. So they're right here in front of us now. You should be able to see them pretty well. And it looks like they're doing some mining on one of them, and then the other one hasn't been touched, but they don't appear to be man-made. So I guess they're naturally occurring like that. The rest of it around here is just flat, and then there's just these random termite holes like that. Kind of cool. So I know this video is going to be kind of boring today. I really didn't do anything, just drove into town and did some shopping just to get like food and drinks and stuff like that, just to stock the place. So I really didn't do anything exciting. Went and parked in a park and ate lunch with a friend and had some conversation, you know, so it wasn't really worth filming. Just sat in front of the ocean and looked at the water. So I didn't really film anything today. But tomorrow, we're planning on going to the zoo. So hopefully I can do a pretty decent video on that. And then, like I said, I think on Sunday, the plan is to go to Sardinia. And I don't really have any plans for the week going forward. I should probably figure something out. But right now, I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants and just taking everything as it comes in stride. So, like I said, I'll try to do a little bit more diligence. I didn't film as much of my trip out here as I wanted to. Actually, I didn't film any of my trip out here. I shot the introductory in an airport, and that was pretty much the end of it. Just, you know, the experience is different in real life, like being here in person versus being here in video. And it's hard for me to just be like, oh man, let me pull out a camera, because it's like, man, I just want to enjoy this. But I want to share it with you guys too, and that's why I started this channel, was to share it with you guys, and I've let you down. I need to get better at it. So the national language of Belize is actually English, and everybody speaks it pretty well. have a little bit of a different accent because it was, of course, a British colony, so they speak a proper English. But then all of the real locals also speak Creole. And I don't know that Creole is spoken in too many places. I don't even really know the roots of Creole. I know that it's not on Google Translate, so can't find it there. But so you'll hear the natives speaking it to each other a lot. It's kind of a different sounding language, Creole is, but the natives will speak it to each other. And it's interesting, you'll be having a conversation with them in English and there'll be a native standing next to you and they just switch back and forth so easily and seamlessly. It's interesting, you know, because again, they speak, you know, British English and it's their kind of their foundation language as well, so they speak it fluently. And I think that's one of the things that attracts a lot of Americans to Belize as a retirement place, because they don't really have to learn a whole lot of different things. Excuse me, they don't have to really learn anything different to live here. The language, again, is English. They use miles per hour, they use feet and inches, pounds and ounces, and they use dollars. Now, the Belizean dollar is worth about 49 cents. So it's a little less than half, but it pretty much just equals out. Like whatever the posted price is, just divide it by 2, and that's what it is in US dollars. But they do use dollars. It's the same currency symbol the dollar sign is. So when you walk up to a price tag, you'll see what you're used to seeing. And they do use periods instead of commas, whereas in a lot of like European countries or Latin American countries, where Americans would typically put a period, especially in a price, they'll put 1 period 50. In those other countries like Europe and Latin America, they'll put 1 comma 50. So it does look a little different when you first see it and trying to get used to it. But here, again, everything is very much similar to what it is in the States. The speed limits are in miles per hour, the billboards are in English, you go to the grocery store and you'll recognize just about every brand in the grocery store. They're all brands that you buy in the U.S. Nesquik, Nestle, Nutella, what's the butter I'm thinking of? The Country Crock butter or whatever the name is. Gatorade, Arizona tea. It's all the same stuff that you see in the U.S. and they just sell it here. And I don't know necessarily why. I know in the past, Belize was trying to join the United States as a territory. And I'm not really sure what happened to that, if there was a vote and the people said no, if it was the people that wanted to do it but the government said no. I don't really know. I just remember hearing about it many years ago that they were talking about doing that. So here, for example, you'll see the speed limit sign and a road sign that you're used to seeing. The roads are striped and paved the same way that you're used to seeing in the U.S. So that's why people like to come here from the States, is because it just feels so much like home. You really just feel like you're in Florida or anywhere on the coast that has a real tropical climate. And everybody speaks English, and the products are the same products that you're used to seeing on the shelves. So there's not really anything to get used to here as far as language barriers or different types of groceries or anything like that. So it's just it's a very easy transition from American life into retirement life in Belize. So I haven't seen too many retirees. This isn't really the area that they're attracted to. They want to live out on the Keys. They want to stay out, you know, kind of in the resort areas, or they live up north, like in Sardinia, places like that. I'm trying to remember the name of their Corazon. So I don't see a whole lot of retirees here, but I have seen a lot of Americans here that are they seem pretty accustomed. So there is a ship in port, but these guys didn't look like they were cruise ship customers. They looked like they probably lived here. So I have come across a few. And rent is reasonably cheap. If you have a retirement income of about $2,000 a month, you could live here as comfortably as you do in the States, unless you live in a very nice house. But otherwise, you could live here very reasonably for $2,000 a month. So healthcare as a retiree is affordable if you needed it. And becoming a Belizean citizen, or resident rather, doesn't seem that difficult from the internet research that I've done. You get on the Belize tourism website even, and they were, especially during the pandemic, they were saying, hey, all you guys are working from home, so how about you come work from Belize instead? Or if you're going to school remote, just come to school in Belize instead. Because they wanted people to come here and spend money, obviously, to keep the economy floating. So they were saying, and I think it's still in effect, I haven't looked lately, but basically if you can prove that you have a sustainable income, they'll just give you a 1-year visa for the asking. And then from there you can just request residency if you wanted to do residency. Now, I know for residency you do have to show that you either have vaccinations from the past, like yellow fever, polio, vaccines that, some vaccines that we just get in the States that are usually given to you when you're born, or vaccines that you would typically get if you travel to other tropical countries like yellow fever. If you're going to go spend some time in a tropical country, you should get the vaccine for that. And I believe it's one of the ones that they require proof of if you were trying to get residency here. This is a double semi. Hit the gas and go flying because you're on the highway. So I've been rambling. I've kept the camera pointed out the windshield because everything here is much nicer to look at than I am. So I've been just kind of rambling while showing you my drive, because this is what I did all day today. So again, hopefully the next couple days I'll be doing some more exciting stuff, going to the zoo, going up to Sardinia and Corazal, which is right on the Mexican border. I do have the paperwork in the car if I wanted to cross the border, so I suppose it's an option. I don't know if I want to, haven't decided yet. I did kind of and like 25% want to go to Tikal, which is a Mayan Ruins city with like 200 structures in it. It's a massive city. As far as ruins go, it's relatively decent shape. It's kind of been restored a little bit over the years. It's my understanding that they have stopped the restoration work on it as of about 10 years ago. But it is open to the public. It's difficult to tell if it's remote and hard to get to or if it's accessible. I get kind of varying reports. And it seems like it depends on the person you ask whether or not they felt like they could get to it very easily. But it's in Guatemala, so I do have to cross the border for that. Now, apparently it's enough of a tourist destination for people from here that a lot of the rental agencies I talked to about renting cars would sell you a border pass that allowed you to take the rental car across the border to go visit Tikal, and it was like $25 for the rental car. So I don't think it costs anything to cross the border into Guatemala, and I know it's not that far into Guatemala, especially from where I'm staying. It would probably only take me 2 hours to get there. But again, I don't know the condition and what I need to get there. I don't know if this vehicle I'm renting will get me there or not. So I haven't really decided if I want to go. It's definitely something I want to see, but I just don't know if I'll do it on this trip or not, or if I'll come back and make a trip specifically to see that and just rent a higher clearance 4-wheel drive vehicle just in case. And I may end up doing that and then driving up there and going, oh, this was easy. I could have gotten here on a scooter. You know, so I don't know. But again, like I said, it's definitely something I want to see, just not really a super high priority. There are some Mayan ruins in Belize, closer to Belize City. I think they're kind of on the way to Sardinia, so I might see those this weekend as well. If not, I'll certainly make a special trip to go see them, because I do want to see some of them. I'm told that we have to go when it's not raining, because you can climb the ruins, but they're very slippery in the rain, which makes sense. The steps going to my little cabin I'm staying in are very slippery, and they're actual steps, so I imagine the ruins are slippery as well, because they probably have a lot of moss on them too. So again, I'm kind of just rambling while I drive here, showing you the scenery. So apparently at some point the battery in my GoPro died, so that'll be exciting to find that point in editing, find out where I was rambling and the GoPro said shut up. Well, I guess I'll finish my drive and charge my battery when I get home.